All right, you are now watching Week 10 First Look Bets, first edition of this. We're going to do it every week. Little 30-minute bonus segment on the First Look DFS show. Very excited about this. It is a awesome Week 10 slate of games. You do have 4 teams on bye weeks, but all of the lines are up. We don't have props. We may have some teaser opportunities. Glad for you guys to join us if you're watching in another format as a standalone, or if you're hanging out after the fact here on the DFS show. You guys are our people, you're our family, and this is going to be fun. So, Ben, definitely one of these slates this week where, you look at week 9, that had my head in a pretzel. I usually bet a lot of sides. In week 9, I did not bet a lot of sides. I really stuck to props and found my sweet spot there. There were so many of these massive spreads, right? You had the Rams, although that was kind of a layup in that spot, but still 14.5 points. Packers, 13-point favorites, lose outright. Lions, 8.5, 9-point home favorites. They coming off of a bye, they lose outright. The Titans gave the Chargers a scare at one point with a special teams and a defensive touchdown. Chargers end up coming away from that one. But, it was one of those very odd weeks where you had these monster spreads, and in the back of your head, you're just thinking, what can go wrong will go wrong on a week like this.
Yeah, and it was just a stupid week, honestly. I had the Texans, probably my favorite bet. Didn't really get a fair chance because Stroud got hurt. I, once again, and I know this is probably just an outlier, but my anytime touchdown parlay that I drop on tails every week, I'm not joking. I've hit it a few times. It's only been 9 weeks. I've hit it a few times, and I have been as close as you can be with 2 of 3. Derrick Henry, short by an inch. Last week, Higgins, bang. David Montgomery, bang. Travion Henderson, and he just couldn't get in, and Jennings gets in, who I truly didn't know existed.
That was
It's like, who the hell is that?
I know Henderson ended up still having 18 touches, but the idea that he didn't get those opportunities was just more proof that there's something going on with Vrabel, and he's not a fan of this guy. I don't know what else to say. I mean, Gibson's done, Stevenson's out. I really thought the long snapper was going to come in there and just start getting rushing attempts at the goal line while Henderson watched from the side.
I mean, there is some of that with these anytime touchdowns of like the 1 yard line randomness and tilt this year for me that's been the theme of my betting year is 1 yard. Like Seahawks, they bring in Barner to sneak it in. And it's like, where is that when I bet a tight end? Like that would never happen. But the parity for the league this year, that's why Survivor is just a wasteland. I mean, you're talking teasers. Like you mentioned a couple of them. The Lions were a sizable favorite, and they were handled at home in division. It was that type of week. And then, on the prop side, it does seem like some of these teams, with the passing volume, how many guys can coexist on overs has been like, if you looked at the Packers, Higgins, Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, like all of them were in that 60 to 100 yards receiving range at once because Flacco had 450 yards?
Yep. He had a career high at 41 years old. So
same game parlays through the roof with some of these teams.
Let's run through some of these games. First up, Thursday Night Football, Raiders at the Broncos. In some spots, I should point out too, using the live odds tool over on OddsShopper, there are still 9.5s out there. It's a big number. Denver, definitely, you like them more at home than you do on the road. But it's funny because when I look at this Denver offense, I just see all the time, they're so hit or miss. I mean, they're truly hit or miss. We saw them against Houston. They get the win last minute, walk-off field goal. They did the same thing, late come from behind win against the Philadelphia Eagles. They've had so many of these this year, I think against the Chargers as well, against the Colts, right? Against the Colts as well. And, their offense to me, really outside of that game against Dallas, hasn't fired on all cylinders. It isn't to say that Geno's a guy you can rely on, but Brock Bowers is back and 100% healthy right now. He has had a monster 100-plus yard, 3-touchdown performance. They really, should have won that game. They still have Ashton Genty. They have weapons. The defense is not good, but it's not Bengals, Cowboys bad. What do you think about the 8.5, 9.5 the Broncos are laying in a divisional spot this week? On a short week, no less.
On a short week, yeah. I mean, I'm going to punt this. I think that the Broncos can and will be a popular teaser piece, particularly at 8.5, get it to 2.5 and use them because I think they're going to win the game. They're very dangerous at home. I don't really want to mess around with a 42.5 point total in a pseudo double digit game. I like Sutton in the game. I'll be interested to see what they do. Logic would dictate that you would say, okay, we under no circumstance will we let Bowers beat us. And I wonder how much they can do that with the personnel that they have. But to me, Thursday Night Football is pretty rough. This is a game, and he's another one I've complained about with anytime touchdowns. Dobbins and Harvey in that backfield, the touchdown variance when Harvey had 3 and Dobbins didn't score in the game where everybody scored. I may look to some of these Broncos to find the end zone against a Raiders defense that's still pretty damn bad.
Yeah, I might tease this. I think there's going to be some good teaser spots there.
It's a good teaser spot, definitely.
It is. And I try and pick my spots carefully. Lost that 3-team teaser on the Lions last week. You always know one of them is going to do it, right? Teasers always – that's the thing. I tweeted this the other day, and I said, which one of these teams kills our teaser? And I had so many people in the comments going, nobody, this is a lock. And I'm thinking,
of course,
man, no, for real. Is there any type of bet out there that people equate to a lock more than teasers? I don't think there is. I think people look at teasers, 3-team teasers, as more of a lock than anything else. And almost all the time, there is a team that burns you.
Yeah, I mean, teasers and the teaser equivalent of giant money line parlays.
Because right, money line parlays is another good.
Because it's just like, well, they should have won, and it's like, yes, 100%. But if you take 4 teams that are both all 80% to win, just by random chance, someone goes down, and if you're not getting 80% equity in terms of the number, now you're in big trouble. If they have to win at an 85% clip, you're completely screwed long term.
And anyone running a large money line parlay last week had the Packers or they had the Lions, you know.
You're just done.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that. By the way, Patrick Surtain not placed on the IR, but there's no way he's playing.
He's not playing.
There's no way. I like the teaser. I'm not laying the 8 or even 9.5 or even 8.5, obviously, here, Ben. I don't love that spot on a short week.
No, I'll go to the main weapons for Denver. Like if Sutton's number is reasonable, I still think that, credit to him. Listen, of all the things that I got right with the Texans last week, the one thing that I certainly didn't have is that he absolutely whipped Stingley on that touchdown. He had him dead to rights.
Yeah, that was a sick touchdown.
Very impressive. Sutton's a damn good player.
He is. Atlanta Falcons, here you go, Germany game.
No.
So it says at the Colts, but it's a neutral field, right? Designated home game for the Colts, but not really. 6-point favorites on a neutral field against the Falcons, Ben. I think this is a tough betting week. Not even going to lie to you. I think there's a lot of tough games. I actually lean Falcons here. And this has nothing to do with the fact that the Colts got beat last week by the Steelers. That's 1 week. It's in Pittsburgh. That's a tough place to play. But I do think with Michael Penix healthy and Drake London healthy, that this team at the very least keeps games competitive. And I don't want to ignore how bad Kirk Cousins looked against Miami and didn't have their number one weapon, who is one of the, better wide receivers in football.
Yeah, I mean, Falcons, they're a random number generator. They've got some very impressive data points, and they've got some really tough ones. Throwing in a Germany game is not my idea of a good time in terms of trying to evaluate the Falcons. They're the type of team, though, and again, all this is number dependent. We're talking about bets here. The numbers, all that really matters. But just thinking about it out loud, coming off a game where Drake London was just unreal, and he's such a good player, too. There's so many good receivers in this league. I tend to think, okay, let me maybe Bijan after 2 underwhelming weeks, this is the spot to buy on him. His receiving yards props have been perpetually cashing this year. They're going to be looking to him. He's probably the guy I have the most interest in. I'm not going to go to Jonathan Taylor. It'll be the secondary weapons, whether it's Tyler Warren or Pittman, and then Bijan on the other side. I'm not betting a side in this game. Bijan
played 96% of snaps last week.
Yeah.
He's just in spots where they're not in a favorable positive game script, Tyler Algier gets pretty phased out and pretty quickly. So I could see that. I'd lean Falcons, not a game I've bet yet, not sure I will. And then you got the Bills, man, in Miami. Miami's a train wreck right now. Look, you want to talk about the greatest mirage ever. That was them beating the brakes off of the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta a couple weeks back. They plummeted back down to earth last week against Baltimore in primetime. The Bills laying 9.5, though. Last time the Bills were double-digit favorites earlier this season in Buffalo, Miami actually held on. It depends where you got that at, because that moved everywhere from 11.5 down to 9.5 at one point. I forget where it settled in at and went off at, Ben. But Miami, if you remember, had an opportunity down 7 to tie that game late in the fourth quarter, and Tua tried to look off a defender and threw a terrible interception. The Bills went down, kicked a field goal late in the fourth, won by 10 points. But it was actually a competitive game. It is a divisional spot. I just can't back Miami right now in any spot.
No, this could be another teaser piece if you wanted to. I'm closer to betting just laying the points with the Bills, though. You know,
you're getting it inside of 10.
Yeah, and listen, macro trends are macro trends. It's never the best look when you're laying a lot of points on the road in division. That's just always difficult. But at the same time, you look at Buffalo, and optics-wise, I'll admit it's not the best look. You're coming off a super emotional home game against the Chiefs, and now you got to go down to dusty Miami and play them. But on the flip side, you're not in control at all because of New England. New England has the easiest schedule I've ever seen, and they already beat you once. So, like, you have to keep winning games. Them securing home field is very, very important. So I get it, and it'll be the usual suspects. James Cook, Josh Allen. It's really hard to predict these props from Shakir to Coleman to Kincaid because the target distribution is almost randomized.
Here's what I want to ask you. Would you consider, I love my ladders and my alts on player props, right? Would you consider betting an alt spread on the Buffalo Bills this week? Because whenever it's a divisional spot, so often you see these times where Miami can hang around, they lose, but Miami covers, or it's just uncompetitive from the start, and the Bills end up winning this by like 30.
Definitely in play. I try to keep those pretty situational, and I won't bury the lead. The team to do that with is clearly the Lions this week. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind. If there's a team to just roll another team, it's the Lions. Look what they did off the loss, in week 2. You remember they had the disappointing opening. I think they lost to the Packers. And it was like, oh man, Lion, and they slaughtered somebody.
Yep. You're saying, they came in at home and they absolutely dismantled. Who was
it? Either like Cleveland or the Bears or someone like that.
They did. Oh, it was the Bears. Okay. They beat Cleveland a couple of weeks later at home as well. Smoked them. But you're right. It was the Bears. Yeah. Look at this Ravens-Vikings game, right? Because the Ravens are 4.5-point favorites. I mean, the books have been very favorable to them all year, right? Even when they were 1-4, they were still favored to win the division, despite the Steelers having a 3-game advantage over them. You see what the Vikings did in Detroit last week. Ravens had a nice game in primetime over a dead Miami team, but Ravens still laying 4.5 on the road. And I think some of this just comes down to you can't really fully buy into J.J. McCarthy yet. He's had some really great plays. He's made some great throws. He's been very cognizant of the pressure around him last week against Detroit, escaping that. But then you have some other spots, and it's such a small sample there that, I think it would be tough to set this line any differently because you have a known quantity, right, in Lamar Jackson in that Ravens offense. Known commodity.
100%. Like they're still pricing the Ravens as a Super Bowl threat division leader, which I kind of think is pretty fair. And Minnesota had a really good data point last week, but I still think most people, certainly if Minnesota played Detroit on a neutral field, Detroit would be favorite. There's no doubt in my mind. I think the question comes down to what exactly to do with Lamar. If you're looking at props, likely it was clearly underpriced in their last game in the prop market. He cashed with ease. You have Zay on the outside as well. Ravens are another difficult team for same game parlays just because of the way they distribute, and they suck the life out of the game because they have such good time of possession.
I might wait to see if this moves a little bit towards Minnesota and bet Baltimore.
I mean, if it crossed, I'm not going to bet Baltimore at 4.5. Clearly, Minnesota's already taking some pressure. It's minus 115 on the screen here.
Exactly.
If it dips to 4, sure. If it dips to 3.5, probably. Don't tease through 0, please. Public service announcement.
Yep, you're just giving up value if you do that. Patriots and Bucks. Let's find some games we like here. Bucks are laying 2.5, still inside of a field goal here, though, against the Patriots. Patriots have just been a great football team. Chris Godwin could be back. We know Mike Evans isn't playing. I don't know about Bucky Irving yet. This team's dealt with some injuries, man. The defense is largely intact, but the Patriots have just been a good football team. This feels like the type of game, though, and I believe the Bucks are coming off of a bye week as well, where Baker Mayfield, had that bad game against Detroit, and then goes out and really wasn't great against New Orleans either. That was totally a defensive effort that got them the 20-point win in that game. Coming off of the bye at home against the flying high Patriots team, and I get the Bucks inside of a field goal. This is probably one of those spots that I'm going to hit the Bucks.
Ding, ding, ding. This will be on Tails. So if you're following me and it sounds like you should be following both of us. It's free. Bucks are going to be on my card. There's no doubt about it. I think the Patriots are good, but also this is another team. Honestly, 7 win. I believe they're 7-2, right?
Yep, 7-2, top the AFC East.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to bring this up. 7-2. Their wins, the Buffalo Bills on the road. That is incredible. Very good. They beat the Dolphins, the Panthers, the Saints, the Titans, the Browns, and the Falcons.
Yep.
Okay, very nice. Now, ironically, they've been road warriors. They're 4-0 on the road. I think that's probably more noise than anything actionable. They lost to the Raiders to open the season. I'm telling you, I think that New England's a good team ahead of schedule. I don't think that New England's going to fight for the 1 seed in the AFC. I really don't.
I agree that they're good, and I think they're better than people give them credit for. But I also am not going to sleep on the Bucs just because the offense has been a little bit slow lately. Now, I don't want to ignore the fact that, guys like Godwin being out is a pretty big deal, along with Evans, and Bucky Irving. None of that is great.
Not great.
Yeah, not great. Sorry. But
not great.
After the bye, we probably get Godwin back. I just like Baker in this spot. You're getting him inside of 3. I'm going to post this on Tails too. If you guys are new to this channel, if you're new to betting, or you just want to find some great free bets and have leaderboards where you can see who's been killing it lately, right? Who's on a heater, who has long shot parlays. Go in. You want to follow guys like me and Ben, both of our picks. Ben has a premium package. Mine are free, but we are having a great, successful, and profitable year, despite the fact that everything is free. Sometimes I think people go free. It can't be good. Well, you can check the picket, friends. But anyway, come hang out. Download the app if you haven't done so yet. All of our bets go up there first before they go to YouTube. Maybe not this one because we're doing it live. If you're not watching it live, it was live. But everything else, stuff that you never see on YouTube, never see on Twitter, goes to Tails, and it goes there first before it ever hits anywhere else. So make sure you're following us and all of these other great people that you discover along the way over on Tails, and check out some of the VIP packages as well if you want more than just getting the free bets. So that's one way to do it for sure. Anyway, Ben, we're both on the Bucks. Panthers and Saints. I so badly want to bet the Saints at plus 5.5 here after that Panthers win. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to do it. The Saints. I want to get a 6 if I can, and see if it's out there.
Jacoby Myers got traded to the Jaguars.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, that's what Joey just said.
Yeah, it's right here on my alerts.
Huh.
How about that?
Are those props off the board? They got to be off the board
For what?
for the Raider game.
Is that the Thursday night game? It is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to have pulled them. I mean, we can
Yeah.
look it up, but probably they're most likely gone.
Yeah. I mean, just something to keep in mind. But yeah, that's interesting. Muddies the waters for those games, but you could, we mentioned a couple teaser spots, and I'd say 95% of people when they bet teasers, they're teasing a favorite down. But you can go the other direction for sure. Like you could tease the Saints up to 11.5 here. It's a 39.5 point total. It's a pretty
True.
good teaser game. You're crossing 7 and 10. I don't mind teasing the Saints up.
BetMGM still has Trey Tucker at 36.5.
Yeah,
That'd be a spot to get, some of these other, that would be the spot. Because Bowers at 60.5. The thing is, with or without Myers, Bowers is just the number one anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yes.
I might sprinkle on the Saints, Ben. I might do it. I might sprinkle Saints money line.
I knew you would. Yeah, you're not a Panther. I like the Panthers a lot more than you.
I do too, but the Panthers are just the type of team. I've bet the Panthers a lot this year in these spots. On the other spots where they're just expected to be terrible and they're not. I bet them against Dallas and I got chastised for that. They end up winning out. Yeah, you did?
I think.
Yeah, and they smoked the
Sounds
Falcons,
like something
right?
I would do.
Yeah. All I'm saying is the Saints defense is not awful. Yeah, sure, if they're going up against Devontae Adams and Kyron and Puka and Matthew Stafford, right. But I think they could keep it close. Probably don't bet the money line. The 5.5, or if I can find a 6 out there, would definitely be a spot I'm willing to take.
I'm fine with that. The Bucs are definitely my favorite spot.
Me too.
God, Giants Bears. That is a game that just shouldn't exist.
It should not, but it does. I don't know, man. Maybe lean Giants there. Bears
kind of lean to the over.
Stinks. What's that?
I kind of lean to the over.
Over 47.5. Yeah, it's two bad defenses and two teams that can move the football. I'm moving on from that one. Houston and the Jags.
No.
I actually like Houston here. I really like this Houston defense. Now, the Jaguars can get some pressure. They do have some guys on that D-line, but I just love this Houston defense. And I know the Jags put points up against the Raiders. I'm out on this team right now, and I'm just going to have to do what I've been doing. Give me Houston -1.5 because I think the defense is that good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I backed them last week, and your read probably solidified because we talked a little bit about Davis Mills, and you feel pretty good that he's at least serviceable, if not.
He is. He is.
So
as long as he has Nico Collins, he's fine.
Well, he's going to have them. Look at the totals on these games. We're starting to get into it. 37.5. The Jets game, 36.5. Those are low totals.
Gross totals. So give me the home team here at, -1.5. Or if you can go poke around, you might find a better number on the money line, and you might just be able to grab Houston money line here. I could see that being a viable spot as well. I'll tell you right now, if we have a decent money line spot on Houston, it might look better elsewhere. There you go. -116 on the money line, Ben.
Yeah, that's not bad. Can you find the Jets for me? Because they're going to be in the ballpark.
You want Jets money line is what you're looking for?
Yeah, I want to see if there's a 120, 125.
There you go. Jets, there's a -124 here. That's the best number you're going to get. It's on FanDuel. Not bad.
That's going to probably be on my card. Assuming they don't do something stupid with the quarterback or anything. But I think that it was never a talent issue with the Jets. It's that they have no coach, which hasn't been resolved, and some bad luck. I wonder
if Breece Hall's here after today.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, this isn't like the NBA where you see like crazy moves, but we're going to see some pieces. There's no doubt. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Jets shouldn't be buying. That's for sure. They would be sellers at this point.
Yep. But look, the one team I've had a really good read on all season long. I've had my finger on the pulse of the Browns all year, right? I've bet them frequently at home. I've faded them on the road. The team that I can't get right for the life of me is the Jets. And now they face each other, right? So what do you do when you have a team that you haven't gotten wrong and a team that you haven't gotten right facing each other in the same game? It's tough. I think what I have to do is probably you know what? I think I'd probably go Cleveland here. They can't protect Justin Fields. I mean, last I looked, he had a pressure rate north of 50% this season. Myles Garrett is liable to just come in and absolutely take his head off.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a concern, but I'm definitely against you here. I like the Jets in the game. Fields, he's seen that before. He should know what to do. He's mobile. I don't trust the Browns offense whatsoever. It's a bad game. There's no doubt about it. But I just look at Cleveland. As good as the defense has been, it's not like, oh, their defense has been amazing if they could just get a couple more points. Their defense has been amazing. They lose these games by 20 points because the defense still gives up 30-plus points.
If Quinshon Judkins is out there, I'll go Browns.
Yeah.
We'll do a little wager here, figure something out. Maybe we'll make something of it on Tails, right? Maybe we'll do a giveaway. Figure out a fun giveaway here.
Sure.
For whoever wins, like one of us has to do something.
Yeah, it'll be listen, for a bad game, that's certainly not going to have a lot of utility for anyone that plays DFS out there. Like, probably not a game that's going to have a lot of action. This could be a game that I will say I have a hot take this week. Hot take. And it goes against who I like in the game. Jerry Jeudy, who has done nothing all year, is going to get loose one of these weeks, and this is a perfect week for it. If the weather is okay, Jerry Jeudy is a great YOLO anytime touchdown or longest reception over type play.
Longest reception over. What about?
I know.
Okay, so longest reception. I would also consider. No, I wasn't going to say ladder him. Well, actually,
I thought you were going to say the classic over like 70 yards, under 2.5 receptions.
Look, the old negative correlation plays.
Yeah,
they're fun. No, I actually think Jerry Jeudy is the perfect guy to ladder. You throw, one total or to win what you would typically throw. Say if he was minus 110 on his receiving yard prop, you bet 110 to win 100, right? I would take the 110 and divvy it up across a ladder play on a guy like Jeudy, because if you lose, it doesn't matter. You'd just be losing what you'd normally lose. And if you win, you have the potential, because his number is going to be so low, that you could probably find a way, Ben, to Jerry Jeudy 70 plus. And I don't know if Sauce Gardner is going to be back either. My assumption is he will be. But Jerry Jeudy 70 plus is probably going to be like 5-1, 6-1.
Oh, definitely. He's done nothing.
No.
We know the floor is bad, but he's got some opportunity.
You can do most receiving yards in the game. You might get good odds there, because Garrett Wilson, if he's back, will probably have the shortest odds. And Jeudy might even be lower than Harold Fannin and David Njoku, honestly, and Mason Taylor. That might be a good spot to hit, where you're betting him against the whole field.
Yeah. I mean, there's not – level of competition is weak in that game.
Yep. All right, we'll post something to Tails. You and me. Yeah. We'll get a little anti-collab, right? I'll take the Browns, you got the Jets, and we'll do a bit of a giveaway to see what works out here. By the way, if you guys love the Tails app and you haven't done so yet, the link is in the description here. Take a second if you have a minute. We'll never ask you for anything, right? Even when you sign up, there's no credit card required or anything like that. But if you're loving the app and you're profiting and you're loving finding all of these free bets and new experts, take a second out of your day. Leave us a rating and a review. Really, really helpful for us, and we appreciate you guys for that. There's no better way you can help support us grow this platform and make it even better for you than to take 2 minutes out of your day and leave us a review. So Appreciate that in advance for all of you guys who have already done it and are going to do it. We're making something great over there, and we love to have you guys be a part of this for sure. All right, on to the next one. The Arizona Cardinals against the Seattle Seahawks, 6.5-point spread here. I'm staying away from this one, Ben, as a matter of fact. It may seem strange, but it's a divisional spot. I don't actually love it, and it has nothing to do with the fact that the Cardinals beat Dallas in Dallas. It's just I don't have a good read on either of these teams in this specific matchup.
Yeah, I don't think we can really talk much about it because I am unsure who's even playing quarterback with the Cardinals. I'll say this personally. I will be closer to using Seattle in either a teaser, a money line parlay, or just straight betting them if we get word that Kyler is playing. I think that's worse for the Cardinals.
Okay.
I really do at this point.
I want to smash the Detroit Lions at -8.5.
This is the clearly the second teaser piece to me.
I don't even know if I want to tease it, honestly. Now, actually, yes, I will tease it if I need a teaser piece. It's probably the best teaser piece of the week. And I'm not, it might sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I think you know where I'm going here. I don't know if I want to give up the value when I like the Lions at -8.5 already. Like coming off a bad home loss post by a Washington team that, I mean, you cannot be more demoralized than they are right now. Maybe they come out early. I can tell you what I would do. I actually did this with the Chiefs game the other day. I know some of you guys bet this if you watched that video. What I did, and this is the first time I've done this in a very long time, I bet the Chiefs second half spread pre-game bet at -4.5. They won 21-0 in the second half. A lot of times these teams come out with some added enthusiasm when they're playing with a backup quarterback and things seem down and out. And then the first half is like a 7-7 game, right? Or they might even have a slight lead. And then you see the better team come in, and you see this in basketball all the time as well. The Warriors in that historic season, right? They would do nothing for the first three quarters, and then they would rout you in the fourth. I could see this being a situation where the Lions, you just grab the second half spread that'll be like minus, because Dan Campbell doesn't take his foot off the gas either when things are going well, unlike other teams. So even if they do go up early in the first half, they don't pump the brakes in the second. I know it's a weird kind of obscure way of looking at this, but there is, I think, an angle there with teams like the Detroit Lions, where if you think Washington comes out and looks okay early on, I'll come and take the pregame second half spread on the Detroit Lions, and you're going to get it at like probably -3.5, -4.
So the thing you said right at the end is what ties it all together. Because I don't really agree with the read, but the Lions supersede it because even if they're up like 28-3 at half, they're all systems go. They're not going to slow down. So you're going to get a motivated Lions second half pretty much independently. God help if they're losing somehow, then you're really in business. Because the difference to me with them and the teams that you kind of illustrated with, the Chiefs at the time were rolling. The Warriors bored and amazing. The Lions just lost. So like they don't have room to kind of just be feeling it out either. I think the Lions start incredibly fast in this game, but I also think they probably finish very strong anyway, because the Lions are that type of team. They're not going to let up.
So I'm with you, but I also think this is the type of thing to kind of protect yourself in the event that your read isn't fully right, because they don't let off the gas. That's all I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing you can do it this way. You can also obviously, the power of live betting is really nice, whether you're cost averaging down or if for some reason the Lions start slow, and I did the full disclosure, I did some of this last week and look what happened. I would probably hit the Lions live.
But if the Lions start slow, they're going to be like -7.5 in the second half. That's what I'm saying. That's why.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, I'm not asking you to agree with the premise here. What I am saying is the reason I would do this is because if the Lions start slow, that second half spread is going to be way bigger than 3.5, 4. It's going to be huge.
Of course. You just don't have the option to pass, and I do.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Rams and the 49ers. Remember last time these two teams faced each other, Ben? The 49ers were gutted by injuries on both sides of the ball. The spread moved from like 6.5 to 9.5, 5.5 to 9.5, and the Niners ended up winning outright in overtime. Interesting game here. They're 3.5-point dogs. I would lean Niners plus 3.5 here, given that I'm getting him outside of a field goal in a divisional spot. And Puka's questionable.
So would I. This is a tough game. These are really good teams. Divisional clash. Total feels about right. Probably volume-centric game for McCaffrey. So I may look to like rushing plus receiving. It's going to be a big number, but I'm okay. If it's in the ballpark, again, it's all about, just mining the value. And if I had to take the game, it would probably be Niners money line plus 165, 170 range. Sure. But tough game. Rams are good.
Steelers and Chargers. Chargers laying 3 against the Steelers in LA, which isn't really home field advantage. Steelers fans will probably outnumber Chargers fans.
Probably.
Here. Steelers still have to travel. It's a Sunday night game. Tomlin historically has been pretty good as a short dog. Steelers have been a short dog in a lot of games this season. They've been, okay. What do you do here?
Lean Chargers, but again, this is the same. I don't know how many different times I've had to say this year. Joe Alt got hurt again. This time it seems for real. And
he's done for the year, by the way.
Yeah, the Chargers, they need these guys. Herbert was taking a beating in those. There was a micro range where he was really down a bunch of linemen, and he did not look right. I heard a stat the other day. I believe he's leading the league in quarterback rushing, and it's because this guy is running all over the place. He has to. And I don't love the optics of that. That's just not a sustainable way to do it. Kind of lean to the under because I think that the Chargers in a game like this might want to lean on the ground game a little more. And the Steelers' run defense is not invincible like it once was.
Close it out with Monday Night Football, man. How about this game? Eagles coming off of a bye. 2.5-point dogs at Lambeau. Packers coming off a brutal home loss. 2.5-point home favorites, minus 135 on the money line. Eagles just added a bunch of guys to the defense. Jalen Phillips in that trade from Miami. I like that. But then you've got guys like Jair Alexander, Michael Carter. You'll have to see if those guys can really step up or if they're just dust. But at this point, really interesting game to close out the week. If the Eagles were getting 3, I'd be all over this. I don't know what the play here is, though. I mean, the Packers just lost Tucker Kraft with an ACL as well. I don't think that's something we should be ignoring either.
No, listen, it's Monday night, so we don't have it available to us, but this is why I'm going to give you should know by now, but this is why you want to be on tails.bet. Follow us because I'm going to have plays on this game, certainly for free in the free picks feed, and so are hundreds of other people. I like this game for props potentially. I'm not going to take a side. I have no idea. But Green Bay specifically, Christian Watson has worked back. We'll see what's going on with Wicks, but without Kraft, they're going to have to start to, and obviously Reed has been hurt for a while, they're going to have to consolidate their targets to a point that the Packers usually don't. And I think we're going to see some big performances and numbers that are not reflective of this on the Green Bay passing side. I might build a same game parlay with like Love over and Golden or Watson or even Musgrove to be really, really involved.
You think Reed comes back?
I don't know. I don't even know where he's at. Where is he at? Has he been practicing? Has he been doing anything?
I think he's eligible to come back. I don't know though. Jaden Reed, dual surgery.
That would be
mid-November. So that means, that is literally.
It is mid-November.
What?
Yeah, that'll be early mid-November.
Exactly. Basically. So it's tough. Last time Jaden Reed faced the Eagles was in Brazil to open the season's first Friday night game last year in that terrible field. I'll tell you what I like here. I like the over. I like over 44.5. These are two good defenses, but two good offenses. And I know Jordan Love was bad last week, but I'm not going to let, one bad apple spoil the bunch when it comes to his kind of resume. and the Eagles can score points as well. 44.5 actually seems like a pretty low number to me. I don't know what the weather looks like right now. It is nighttime in Lambeau, so that's worth keeping an eye on. But first look, and that's what this show is, over 44.5, I kind of like it.
I'm not going to push back on that. Yeah, this is going to be a good game, and I'm going to build definitely a same game parlay type game. You're going to have boosts for Monday night. One of the cool things that we're doing over on Tails, give you guys a little sneak peek. We're going to have these trends where you can just get bets for major events. You can see all the bets at once. So clearly Monday Night Football, you're going to be able to go in there and just see all the action from Monday Night Football, who's betting what, and I certainly am going to be in there with some parlays.
Well, anyway, appreciate it, guys, hanging out. We got through every single game here. Very fun week of football. I'll be posting a lot of details, all of that free. Link in the description if you're not there yet, or just type Tails in the App Store or the Google Play Store. It'll pop right up. Ben's doing the same, and all of the other experts over there posting their bets every day for every sport throughout every single week. We will see you back here week 11. Of course, for those of you guys watching the extended version of the strategy show, appreciate you more than anybody hanging out, and we will see you soon right here on the first look, week 11 NFL Bet Show next week. Bye-bye.